13 years. She started the extended learning program. She continues to work on a contract for us this year at part-time. Miss Mahala McCall. Miss McCall retired with 30 years of experience from Smith County School System. She's currently still on the substitute teacher list. She finished up her career out Union Heights. Miss Ellie Spike. Miss Spike retired at the time in Forks River. She had 31 years experience, and they were all within the Smith County School System. Mr. Brad Tackett. Mr. Tackett retired with 34 and a half years experience. He worked in Bedford, Rutherford, Coffee, and Putnam County before coming to Smith County. He continues also like Mr. Dillard. We get both of them still back, a big part of our math department on each side of the river. Hope they continue to do that. Jeannie Webb. Miss Webb retired with 30 years teaching experience. She has worked in Davidson, Summers before coming to Smith County in 2008. She still does some contract work with the special education department for still in Smith County. We're honored to have had these people, and still several of them are a big part of our system still.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and I'm sure I speak for the other board members as well. That's a large majority of a person's life to have spent working with our children and trying to help them benefit, move forward in life, and personally, I'm very grateful for that, and I know everybody else feels the same. Thank you, sir. One thing real fast, before we go on consent items, I did promise Mr. Shoulders that we follow his protocol, which he's kind of strict about. So, fellas, if you don't mind, let's shut him down through the meeting here. We'll move next to our consent items. The first one is the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to group all the consent items and vote on.
Can we do that since one of them is a request to purchase and going to be an expenditure? All right, so we have a motion to approve all the consent items. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, since we're spending some money, we'll take a roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McCaleb?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, that'll bring us down, and thank you for doing that. I like that when we can kind of get through those consent items in a hurry. That'll bring us down to Mr. Smith, the superintendent. Action, sir.
I'm sorry.
Superintendent actions.
Yeah, they're in your packet. If you get any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Everybody had a chance to look that over. You have any questions for Mr. Smith about his?
We're going to have the advertising on the next.
That'll be on the next one, yeah.
Yes, sir. That'll be a line item, correct, ma'am?
Do you want it as a discussion?
Yeah, as a discussion.
Mr. McCaleb, that'll be a line item, sir.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's actions.
Second? Not necessary, but since he's made one.
Superintendent action is not necessary.
We were running slow.
All right. Unfinished business. The very first one here we have is the approval of the bipolar ionization project. And I have the floor open. Anybody wishes to speak?
Yeah, I'll speak. We've heard from a representative here, and, we've been kicking this around a little bit. I still believe that we ought to do it. He answered the questions that I had to ask. My main concern was to make sure that it met the 867 standards or the UL 2998 standards for the ozone produced, and he said that they're running at 5 parts, less than 5 parts per billion. And of course, the safe level is 10 parts per billion. Now, I know we've had several discussions about this, and it looks like there's only about 2 ways we can go around this, because the way my amendment to my motion read was, I amended my motion to have the state comp controller's approval. And that's how Mr. McCaleb seconded the motion. That's how we voted and passed it. And correct me, Jamie, if I get to the point where I'm telling something that's not right here. So, the state comp controller did not approve it, nor did he disapprove it. So the way this reads right now, it's still out there in limbo. So either we have to go back and we'd have to either reconsider this motion and re-vote on it, or I can make an amendment to this motion, and we'll still have to vote on it. So keep in mind, with whatever I'm fixing to say or do and vote, if it fails or passes, if it passes, it's great. If it fails, you still can't do nothing because of the way the motion is amended until the state comptroller tells us, yes, you have my approval to put it in. I don't think legally we can still put it in, or not, other than another motion.
Again, the motion that passed, or the vote that passed, was including an amendment from you that says pending approval from the state comptroller.
Yes.
That's the vote that passed.
That's the motion that passed.
However, Mr. Winkler, bring us up to speed again, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be redundant, but he's neither approved nor disapproved. So we're kind of sitting in the middle of the yard, so to speak.
So I can probably make an amendment to my motion that I'd like to amend this motion that we go ahead and do the bipolar system without the comp controllers. Is that the way this should go? Without the comp controllers' permission?
Something previously adopted, and if you wanted to make a motion to amend what you previously adopted, absent that condition, subject to that approval, that's the motion.
And I think we're gonna have to try to take some kind of action because this is just gonna sit here. So I would like to make a motion to amend my motion to take out the state comp controller's approval for this and go ahead and do this.
All right, we have a motion, and everybody's heard it, and he's right, this laid here a long time. I'm going to second that so that we can have discussion if there is any.
What exactly was the state comptroller, what exactly have they said?
Mr. Winkler?
They have effectively told us to exercise caution in purchasing this and submitted that letter that the board has received. Mr. Smith asked the direct question, are you telling us we can or we can't? And they will not provide an opinion one way or the other.
Okay.
They have not raised, the way it was purchased was dependent upon that it provides energy efficiency. And if that's calling into question, I don't think that they're going to give that proof of confidence. You answered.
Further discussion?
And the data that I basically go over, because you're sitting in the room right now, this building has this system in it. And y'all seen the test results in Mr. Towns' office, I think this conference room and the break room, maybe?
Yes.
You've seen the data before they put the system in, all the mold, pollen, or whatever was in the air, and then they provided you the test they did after the system put in, about 30 days roughly after, and all the levels had dropped, and even the mold had even dropped. So that's what I based my decision on, was yeah, and it was certified by somebody out of Illinois, and then I think Indianapolis somewhere to do that. And I asked, like I said, I asked him, wanted to make sure of all the research that I've tried to do online. Of course, there's good and there's bad, but he answered all the questions for the ozone produced.
Can I say one more thing? Am I allowed?
Yes, sir, please.
The way it's written up there, it calls the technology bipolar ionization, which is correct in a way. Bipolar ionization has been around since the 1800s. It's the old technology I was telling you about. It has the glass tubes. It has a high energy. It creates ozone and other byproducts. And Charlie Waddell, our founder, left that company to start this company, and our product is needlepoint bipolar ionization. So what the comptroller was referring to was the bipolar ionization products. The needlepoint bipolar ionization does not produce ozone or have any of those byproducts. We have proof time and time again. So if you look at the recommendations now from CDC, from ASHRAE, from Department of Education and from EPA, they all say, and I can give you all those links, we have them. If you're gonna use an ionization product, just make sure it's UL 2998 certified.
And these are.
And the needlepoint is, yes, all of our products are.
The ones in this facility right now are.
Absolutely, yes. And I can send you those certifications, I can send you the links from EPA and Department of Education and all that, if you'd like to see those. But their only recommendation is, if you're gonna use ionization, use a product that's UL 2998, and we are. So essentially, they're recommending us, but we're the only product in this category that all their entire line is UL 2998.
Mr. Winkler, can I ask an ignorant question? You know, if I ask one, it's probably gonna be ignorant, so I'll just preface that remark. Did we ask the wrong question of the comptroller? Well, we asked him, we asked the comptroller's office about the bipolar ionization air purification system be approved. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about needlepoint. So did we ask the right, I'm wanting clarification in my mind, did we ask the right question? Tommy, am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense. Did we ask the right question of what
Of what we're
we
talking
what we was
about?
wanting to put in?
He came to us. I mean, there wasn't no question at that. Now, when Jamie went back to him, I can't answer that, if that's what you, but he ran us down. So that's when we felt compelled to tell you,
No, I
yeah,
understand.
they came to us.
I understand, but
But you're asking what we asked him back.
Yeah, unless I'm lost somewhere, there's been communication back and forth since then, and they've not approved out of the way, but did we ask the right question? Or were we talking about apples and apples or apples and oranges?
Well, we're talking about the same thing. What's your name? No.
Amy.
Amy. Who was it you was talking about last week, why they were doing this, why the letter was sent out, who was there?
I said that I would bring a representative from the manufacturer that has those answers, and this is who I brought.
Is that what he's wanting?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been round and round with National. Paul Cross, who's head of EESI, which is Energy Efficient Schools Initiative. They were formed in 2008 when the lottery was passed to help the schools spend money on certain things. So they were going to be getting this influx of money. Paul Cross, for some reason, sent out a letter that one of our competitors put out saying that our product, that these ionization products create byproducts. The study was wrong. We pointed out, we've had a response to that open letter that I sent to Paul Cross right after he sent it out, and I said, would you just please send our response? Because they were referring to the ionization products, not the needle. He would not, for some reason, send it out. So we went back and forth with them. We talked to the comptroller's office. The comptroller has said, just like, I'm not gonna tell you which product to go with, that's not my deal, but I'm not gonna not approve a needlepoint ionization as long as it's UL 2998. So we've had meetings, we've got another meeting set up in Nashville on October the 20th, with Paul Cross and Department of Education, several state senators, state reps are gonna be there to get all this clarified. And all we asked from the beginning was send out a response, and we point out that they were not talking about our technology. But they refused to do that for some reason. But there's been several other school districts in Tennessee that have put in our technology. It's been approved, it's been paid for with no issues whatsoever.
What other districts?
The summary you submitted to us says bipolar ionization. Smith County Schools, January the 19th, 2020.
And that was probably something that we did at the very beginning of all this. We're an implementer, we're not the manufacturer, we're not the brains of this product. This has the brains of this product.
That's generally what it's referred to. Needlepoint, again, is what we do. Troy Waddell, our founder, the guy that left the other company, he has 32 patents now on this technology and 22 patents pending. So we have 70-75% of the ionization market now because of the way we produce the ions, and we don't produce these byproducts.
Do you see any chance of newer technology? I mean, I know that's like asking if they're going to be cardinal there or not, but you see it getting better eventually, the technology for this?
Oh, yeah, it's always gonna get better. I mean, we're developing new products now. We've spent over $10 million this year just on testing. We just got our testing back for influenza A, influenza B, RSV, all these different products, all these different bugs that we're testing for. And we're improving our technology to where we can, just one little thing, like these SARS viruses that are out there now, like COVID, we found out, or the CDC has found out, that all these viruses have a slight positive charge. So when our negative ions are in the air, Charlie describes them almost like heat-seeking missiles. They're attached to those SARS viruses very quickly, and they deactivate. So that's why we've been using, in the White House, in all these different industries. We're in over 2,000 K-12 schools now. We're in the Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Boston Children's, all these big hospitals, because they know this technology. And we're not saying we're a silver bullet at all. It's all part of a layered approach that you take with hand sanitizing, with social distancing, mask, all those things. But you gotta have something that can help. Over 90% of the infections through COVID have been through airborne. It's not touching the surface. So with our product, you have these positive, negative ions that travel with the airflow and can attack these viruses in the air. And that's the approach. That's an addition to what else you're doing to help kill these viruses in the air.
So what districts in counties are using this in the state of Tennessee?
Shelby County, Memphis, put it in back several months ago, first of this year.
And I've sent a list
We
to
sent a
Mr.
list,
Smith.
yeah.
I forwarded that to all of
What
y'all.
does this equipment
I
look
haven't
like?
seen any
I mean,
list.
what are,
I've got it.
What are
I've got it
we
out in the car. I can go
paying
grab it.
to, I know, but what is
It's
it?
just a
It's-
small, unit that has, brushes, carbon fiber brushes that come out the top, and one set of brushes produces positive ions, and one set of brushes produces the negative ions. So it's attached right into your HVAC system. The airflow takes the positive, negative ions with the airflow into the space.
I know, but how could it possibly cost $350,000?
Well,
I mean,
every
that's,
HVAC system.
every HVAC's gotta have it in there,
Every HVAC
right?
system has to have a unit, yes.
And so how many have we got? I mean,
Miss-
how many?
Mr. Smith, did you get a list of those schools and districts? Because
What,
did you get a list of those schools and districts?
I don't have any, I don't got a list.
Okay.
I got a list.
Maybe
I got a
your junk
list.
mail, but
I never
also
got
sent
one.
it
Yeah, I didn't
to Another
get
board
anything.
member, so he said he forwarded it to everyone else.
How many of those
I
units
have
do we
right
have?
now.
You know?
Gentlemen, please, just for a second here.
How many?
Now, she sent an email, and I did forward it out to everybody. Now, she has it right there. Well, I sent it all to y'all's text message response, but, ma'am, if you would like to provide that, please.
I'd like to add that the state comptroller's office is not gonna recommend to you what product to use, and that's basically what you asked of him. That'd be like asking him, should we buy a Ford or a Chevy, your point earlier.
No, I think he's a misunderstanding, because they came to us. We didn't ask them for a recommendation. They came to us when they found out the bid.
We got kind of the nasty,
Bid,
Graham.
but,
Did they come just to Smith County?
I can't answer that, but they came in this office right here. Matter of fact, quite honestly, we weren't easy to find for about 3 days. And he finally walked in, remember the day he walked in and got Norm and I both right there. And I tried to pin him down and he wouldn't say, he said, we can't tell you who to go with. I think his exact words were, you need to take a look at other companies. So,
Can I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am, please, while she's looking that up.
Guidance Mr. Funding keeps repeating over and over and over, any purchase over $10,000 needs to go through the bid process. And that concerns me because if we purchase this system and they come in and do an audit,
My only question to that, in response to that comment, was why were we not told that when this vote was taken unanimously?
Yes, and we was told that we'd piggyback it off of our,
and that's, yes.
and that's
Energy
when we went to
package.
Jamie, and he thought maybe the inspection.
I think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and we're just going round here, but I think that a comment that I made when we first received a letter from the comptroller, I think Mr. Winkler, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I don't, but I believe I asked you, have we done anything illegal? Have we violated any laws? Have we done any of those things? Your response was no.
The letter from the comptroller has to do with quality of the product.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to do with that
So,
So the letter forwarded by the comptroller, it wasn't authored by the comptroller.
that makes sense. I guess what my point was, it went through and we hadn't violated anything.
Yeah, why are we even talking about this right now?
I understand. Ma'am, if you've got that information pulled up now,
When we had talked last time, you guys requested that I group the ones that had been installed, purchased and installed post this letter and this comptroller issue. And those that I have, we've actually installed in Hancock County Schools here in Tennessee. Washington County Schools, which is the Johnson City area. And then Bristol, Tennessee City Schools have also done all this, like I said, post all of these letters that have been sent and emails that have been sent and visits that have been made to school systems. And then, of course, we also talked about, it's not in Tennessee, but Atlanta, Georgia, Gwinnett County, which are, our systems. And I have provided emails and telephone numbers for each one of these districts that I've mentioned. Because it was requested that you guys may want to talk to them prior to today's meeting.
Washington and Hancock County, is that the only two?
And Bristol City Schools.
That they've installed, that y'all installed.
Well, we've installed Hancock County, these others, and then other companies. But this same PBS product.
and then Shelby County School System, is that what you said, sir?
Yes, Memphis, Shelby County Schools in Memphis, and, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, Fulton County. We have, like 130 out of the 190 school systems in the state of Georgia, have installed it. Gwinnett County, they've been installed for over 10 years, and Mark Lord is director of schools, he'll talk to you. They love the product, they've never had any issues. They look at absentee rates, they look at infection rates, they look at all those things. K through 12 schools is by far our biggest application, even above hospitals.
But you're not, and for clarification, just so everybody's on the same page, I believe the word you used was silver bullet. You're not implying that this system is a silver bullet. You're implying that it is one more layer to the layered approach of maintaining a grip on COVID, correct?
Yes, absolutely. There was a recent study that was just finished by Auburn University and Maxwell Air Force Base put together. They wanted to find a five-prong approach to attack COVID in the buildings. They did that, they did their studies, they applied it in all the VA nursing homes in the state of Alabama, and they had real high COVID rates after installing air technology along with the 4 other steps, which were social distancing and masking and all that. They've had close to 0 cases of COVID in the VA nursing homes in Alabama over the last 8 to 9 months. And they've written us a testimonial letter, I've got several of those I can send to you about how the infection rates are.
0 cases in Smith County Jail.
Jim, this is kind of where, this is sort of where I find us to be. We voted on this as a board and passed it, and now we're back here revisiting it because of numerous questions that were well-based, without a doubt. You raised some very interesting reports, and there were some things in the EPA and all that stuff that brought concern, because we all know the face of COVID and the byproducts and everything that go along with it have changed over the months. You're hearing discussion back and forth. Here's your opportunity again to ask questions and things. We've drug this off for some time. Would y'all agree?
I agree. And my question is, I had thought we'd already put this in over the summer.
Me too.
People was asking me in the community, I said, yeah, we put all this in over the summer. And then we come back to school year and I find out we didn't put it in. And I'm like, what?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I made the same comment I thought we had.
Yeah, because we voted, listen, we were sold a bill of goods. We sold it, we had a meeting in January, Tennessee School Board Association meeting. It was highly recommended that we done this. We took action the next month. We done it. We approved it. Why haven't we installed it? Why are we talking about this right now?
Because the comptroller hadn't.
Because your motion was pending approval of the comptroller, which you've amended tonight. Because he wouldn't get on either side of the fence. So that's what's brought you back here tonight, pending approval from the state comptroller. But now your motion and second is purchasing it regardless.
Correct. He's
I already made one. I did.
Go ahead.
I made a second so we could have some discussion about it and resolve this. Get on with it.
I mean, guys, I don't know if this is the best thing in the world to put in. I don't know. Time will tell. But at the time, I think we ought to do something, and I thought it was irresponsible for us to do nothing. And you answered the two questions that I had. And all my little Googling I've done over the past week, everything, there's good and there's bad, but everything I was looking at was bipolar, what you were talking needle. But everything I referred to was said, make sure it was certified by either these two standards, and you're certified by the latest standard, which is the 2998. It's safe.
Now, again, just for clarification real quick, this is not money that's costing, this is grant money, correct?
This would be through the ESSER.
Grant.
Which has already been approved.
But I mean, the point where I'm headed at with that, just so everybody understands, because it's been a while since this came about, this is not something that we're asking the citizens of Smith County to pay for. This is ESSER money, grant money, whatever. So, just want to make that clarification, because it's been some time since this first came around. Let's go down the list real quick and see if anybody's got, Mr. Glover, have you got any questions you'd love to ask?
I got no questions.
Joe, do you have any?
I just wanna know what it looks like. I know it sounds crazy, but I wanna know.
You got one out in the car, you wanna,
Know if you can all this equipment,
Yeah.
back seat of a car.
yes, sir, run and get it right quick. Let's,
Got a picture of
I think if you could do that, let's just try to put this thing to bed somehow.
Brochure's got pictures, but I can go get the actual product.
Go, run, get it right quick. Joe went by a truck without looking at it, so we'll get the truck in here real quick. Say again.
We're waiting on him to bring that. What is the warranty with this? I'm sure is there a warranty with the?
What's the year in maintenance?
No.
But the warranty, I mean, is there some kind of?
And it's been a minute since I looked, I believe it's 5 years, but I'll verify it.
Okay.
They made it longer since we started talking about this in January.
Well, he's got to get in.
So, you just said it made it, y'all increased the warranty on it, is that what I heard you say?
Yes, the manufacturer did, and I believe it's 450 units is what,
Yeah.
to answer your question earlier.
450 units.
Yes, sir. I think that's the number that's on the proposal that we give you guys.
But some of them strips that goes on
No, Joe?
the wall, the wall. Some of them they put that up.
What did you, ma'am, could you say again, what the warranty presently?
3 years.
3 years now?
There's different ones for each different unit, but there's your positive, negative, there's your brushes. This little thing right here spins.
The
It
units
cleans
are
those
sized
brushes.
by tonnage,
So that's why there's
and
no
that's,
maintenance. For us to clean.
There's zero monthly maintenance cost or yearly maintenance.
They're all, they're all auto self-cleaning. This model here has a wiper blade that rotates every 3 days to keep the brushes clean. That's only maintenance we recommended prior, but now we have this auto clean system, so there's no maintenance.
But it's
That's what
blue.
we'd be getting.
That color your shirt.
depending on the tonnage of each unit, which
Will they be issued
that system here treats up to 6 tons or 2,400 CFM, and this unit treats up to 12 tons or 4,800 CFM. And we have another unit that goes larger than that. Pretty big system.
Todd, I'm sorry, 3 years warranty on the one that we're talking about?
Yes,
Only 3?
yes. But, you know, we've done, we have less than a 0.1 warranty rate, and we're on a lot of the airplanes. Airlines use our product to keep the cabins of the planes clean. All the airlines are required to do mean time between failure testing, and we have all that. All the airlines that have tested our product, the mean time between failure, the lowest one has been 12 years.
All right, so that,
Nothing to go wrong on.
and I want to recognize him just a moment, but I do just want, just for clarification, what is the average lifespan of the unit that we have looked at for this school system? The average, I'm not talking about, I just want to know the average lifespan.
Average is 10 to 12 years.
10 to 12.
Yes.
All right, Mr.
I
Glover.
got a question. In my research of some of this stuff, I've noticed that there's several lawsuits still pending against certain companies for this. Are y'all in the midst of any lawsuits with
We are.
companies?
The lady, the competitor that came out with that open letter,
Mhm.
said our product produced byproducts. She had been, works for one of our competitors. She's been warned several times because she's made several statements, general statements about bipolar ionization, and everybody kind of lumps all those technologies together. So she came out with this open letter saying that they tested our product, that it produced these byproducts. It was 2 graduate students at Illinois Tech University that did the study. It came back that, again, there was byproducts in the room. And we have that study we can give to you. The byproducts that they found in the room, were over 100 times less than the OSHA allowable limits. And they were talking about formaldehyde and some other things. But they were 100 times less than OSHA allowable limits. But we have sued her now because of that open letter, because it's cost us some business.
Wait, stop just a moment. You're not, I want to clarify that. You've, and I don't want to get too deep in it, but if I understood you right, you filed a lawsuit against them, not vice versa.
Yes,
But have
Okay.
they filed a lawsuit, has anybody filed a lawsuit against y'all, is what I'm saying?
yes. There was it was based on the open letter. There's a single homeowner in Maryland that bought one of our products online, put it in his home. He admits for the express purpose of filing a lawsuit. He then referred to the open letter. He filed a class action lawsuit. It's called a putative class action lawsuit because there's only one person. This was about 6 months ago. No other people have joined the class action suit with him. It's still the one guy. He's done this 2 other times. It's almost like when the McDonald's hot coffee thing.
Now,
He's done this 2 other times. He's been thrown out of court. So we
The-
filed for that to be dismissed.
the ones that I've seen has been the larger companies like Boeing. You've been talking about airlines and stuff. Like, is y'all's product the same product that's in Boeing and then they're going through that lawsuit?
It said that they were cited in the Maryland gentleman's lawsuit. It says the Boeing study has been cited in a federal lawsuit filed by a Maryland consumer against Global Plasma Solutions.
Okay.
So, yeah, he referred to a study that Boeing put out along with this open letter that our competitor put out. But no, we don't have any lawsuits with Boeing. We had a lawsuit against that competitor about the open letter, and we had a lawsuit against us by the homeowner that put it in his home and said it's producing all these byproducts based on the open letter.
Okay.
And obviously, you're not under a cease and desist order from any court in any jurisdiction anywhere in the United States to cease installing these.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Mr. Taylor, any questions? Mr. McCallum? Mr. Apple?
Called one thing one meeting, one thing the other meeting. I said, comptroller knows more about it. We know about it, it doesn't approve it, it doesn't disapprove it. Talking about spending $350,000 on something that's been brought up that COVID hadn't been around, you would have never heard of it. It's not a quick fix, it's not a cure, it's not a preventative. It's like he said, it's just nasty like masks, hand washing, vaccines. I think it's an unnecessary expense. I don't think that it's gonna do what the think it's gonna do. I think they're not, in the truth, I'm thinking that it's just, I think it's gonna do this in this situation, it's gonna do this in this situation. I think probably, what I read, climate affects it, humidity affects it, or very humid climate.
Humidity does not affect it at all.
I ain't got that either, but I should have printed it out. It's under excuse me, it's under the EPA, you can look it up, you can Google it.
Yeah, some of
I
the old,
read that one too.
some of the old bipolar products that had them,
So they calling it needle point, now it's gonna be crochet next month, I don't know what it's gonna be.
I think it was an oversight, it was just one word missing.
I mean,
It
I-
wasn't intentional.
But
And this is
I've
something
been
that was
told-
approved unanimously previously, and the only thing that's changed now is a comptroller. It has nothing to do with the amount of research you've done now that obviously wasn't done prior to the first unanimous decision. So unless all of the information he's sharing now is covered in the comptroller's office.
I was basing everything on what I was being told by y'all on the front end, and it was good with that until the comptroller, and then I got to investigate on my own, and look at things, and it's not the silver, white wedding that it's put out to be. I mean, it's got a good point, it's got bad points. And all I was hearing was good. He said he done, he sold on, I believe him, but I haven't seen anything right. I mean, that's all I got.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
Vote on this.
All right. Everybody good to go? You've got a motion and a second. Would you please reread the motion since this thing has gotten kind of like a plate of spaghetti over here?
Yes, he would like to amend the previously adopted motion, absent of state comptroller's approval, and go ahead and do this.
Anybody need it reread?
We're voting, need to do it.
Pretty much where you're standing, yes, sir.
His motion is to do it. So vote the motion.
The motion is either gonna pass or fail. That's all.
So to clarify, the ones that don't know, yes means you're gonna get it, no means you're not gonna get it.
Correct. All right. Mr. Jones?
No.
Mr. Apple?
No.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
No,
Wait, I
Wait, hold
didn't.
on.
Joe? No.
Yes.
no,
I'm gonna vote yes.
1, 2, 3, 4 no's. 1, 2, 3 yes, and we have an absent.
5 votes has to change,
yes.
so it stays still like it is.
Where does that put us?
It stays like
Does
it
it
is.
fail?
Sir,
Does it fail, or does it stay like it is, or where does it put you?
his motion to amend fails, but the original motion stands.
Okay.
Could you clarify, what does that mean, Jamie, that if
That if the comptroller were to issue that approval,
Comptroller's gotta meet, they got to initiate approval of the system before they go forward.
How much longer can that money stay tied up without somebody making a decision?
We need to move on it. I'd have to look at the date, come back and let you know. This is ESSER two funding. You remember the date, Mr. Smith?
Jamie, if the state comptroller, let's say, lifted that, changed their stance, that didn't necessarily have to come out of ESSER. Is what I'm saying, we could take it out of the general fund.
there was no part of the motion that said it came out.
We could still purchase it, it'd just be that we've at a point on ESSER, we've gotta move on as far as getting it approved.
Well, I think-
Get the money, that's. but
I don't
that's
wanna-
not to say you still can't buy it and buy it out of the general fund if the,
I don't think it's the intent of your motion, was it? I don't put words in your mouth, but
There was no part of the original motion that it was, had to be purchased at an ESSER.
okay. All right, can we do this then, just so that we're making some kind of, I feel like I'm pushing a boulder, so that we're making some kind of progress on this. Would you please, sir,
what, sir?
would you please redirect a communication to the comptroller's office?
We've actually done that today, so we're waiting on.
Okay, with the explanation of this product specifically is what? Needlepoint?
Yes, needlepoint bipolarization.
So that we know that we're all talking about apples and apples, won't be fair and honest with everybody. And then, I'm gonna ask for this to be on the agenda next month for resolution, one way or the other. Fair enough, everybody? Because we've been swatting this thing since, what was it, January? All right. Folks, thank you for your patience and information and understanding and the work that you're doing, and for coming back in front of us again. More than one said that they'd hoped that y'all would be here tonight, so thank you. And you're welcome to stay. And watch us maybe hopefully not pull our hair out on anything else. All right. We are next on new business A, if I'm correct. If I'm incorrect, somebody please tell me after that. All right, new business A, subject is request to purchase 65 phones through ENA Internet Service. You've all had a chance to look at this. Do I have a motion on new business A?
So moved.
And a second? Well, we have to second before we can have discussion.
Who made the motion?
Mr. Apple.
I second to speak on it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. McCaleb?
Mr. Chair, what's the use of these phones gonna be used for?
It's actually their intercom system. It's Smith County High School. Each room has what they call a phone in it. It will cost them a little more for a few months, but then it cuts their bill in half then for the lifetime of the phones. So within a year, they were more than recouped, or they've got to have an intercom system. It will be all funded by Smith County High School.
Is this a bid process, or was this just, how was this coming?
This is a government, through the ENA government service, so it doesn't have to be bid.
I've got a question.
What's the ENA stand for? You know,
Bonnie, can you answer that? Norman, I don't know what it said.
is it not, all I'm getting at point is it something that DTC is doing wrong, or are they just being hired?
Well, we get a cut rate as being a government citizen, and we get refunded on our internet service, so everything we get is discounted through them. I can't tell you, Bonnie, can you answer that more when we went to Dusty, our principal's the one done it, it was the cheapest.
Is this for this Smith County only?
Yeah, this is Smith County.
Yeah. I've looked it up a little bit. The ENA is based out of Nashville. They got a place out of Nashville.
They give
And-
us a lot of money, is all I can.
And my question is have we contacted DTC to see if they would match it?
Yeah.
Or, what's the service times? Is there longer service time with ENA than it is DT? Because when I can call DTC and they can be at my house 30 minutes. So, I'm just wondering,
We can get it.
cheaper's not always better when it comes to
Well-
internet.
We get our internet through ENA. I don't know if we have to use ENA, so I don't know.
So we get our internet here?
Whitaker felt like it was by far the best deal. He didn't tell me. He
Okay.
For the
explained
whole
it to the board.
county.
Is there any way we can, Scott, you'll have to help me?
Well, we're gonna split services then, is what you're saying.
I don't know, I'm not a
Yeah, me either.
technologist, I don't know how this works, so.
Well,
Somebody here that, is Mr. Whitaker,
I'm gonna have him here to explain. I asked him, we didn't feel like the need, he'd have been here tonight. I saw him right before the meeting, but he'll be happy to come and explain it.
if we did go with ENA, would they be willing to waive the setup fee considering we do our
ENA
internet?
we already use.
Yeah, we
Right.
already.
ENA is our internet system.
Yeah.
Everything
Correct.
we got's within a.
Yeah.
All they're wanting to do is change the phones
From
from
DTC to ENA?
to Bale. He wanting to go to Ma Bale, ain't
The what?
he? He's want-
No, go to ENA internet service.
Her base internet
My-
service is all with ENA.
My question is where we use ENA already, would they be willing to waive the setup fee to get that service?
where is this setup we
I don't know. I'd have to look, see where they're with right now. But he said it will cut.
The
their
total
rate.
cost of phones are approximately $4,615.
have? Is that the setup fee, or is that just the cost of the phone? I think that's just the cost of the phone.
Would they be willing to waive that to get that business?
Is there that many phones?
I mean, they've already got the internet business.
Correct. So to keep that business, would they be willing, I'm just saying, I mean,
Negotiate,
yeah, negotiate.
maybe have DTC, I'm just throwing out there, have them a chance to look at it too.
Can DTC, I mean, I don't know, we're gonna start talking about air purification again. Can DTC provide the same internet service that ENA does since it covers the entire school system? I don't know.
You're going from one, and you're going from one provider, one school to another provider, another school.
Well, no, you still got the same internet
Hold on a
provider as
second.
ENA.
Everybody's still using ENA and internet. They're
Exactly.
using DTC on the phone service,
provider.
not internet.
Yeah,
Correct.
They're wanting to go through ENA
To
get
get the
the
phone
phone.
to get
service.
the phone service.
Correct.
So
Basically, they're
I'm like
intercom
Marty.
phone service.
Has anybody called DTC and said, hey, can you lower your price on your phone?
I don't wanna speak for him not being here, and I should have more information, but I assure you he's talked to everybody, but he needs to come and let hear that.
he does.
He said he cut his phone bill in half.
Somebody make a motion, puts this on the agenda next month, have
I'm
principal
motion to
here.
Table this till next.
I'll have Mr. Whitaker here next meeting.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Who was second? I got Tommy made the motion to table, Marty.
Thank you. All right, new business B, the general purpose budget amendment. Y'all have all had an opportunity to look at this.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second? All right. And we're just making an amendment here, so I don't have to do a roll call. Is that right, Mr. Attorney?
Correct.
All right. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, new business C, the one-time COVID-19 appreciation bonus. All of you have had a chance to look at that, and it was discussed in a work session.
Was we not gonna let him come back? Well, this was the bonus money, wasn't it?
It is, the one-time COVID-19 appreciation bonus is the topic that was in your work session that we discussed. I'm just, you're smiling, but I mean, it is what we discussed, so
I know it is, but.
it is. Anybody want to make a motion or do anything, have some discussion on this? Let's get this thing out of the way. We need to make a decision, gentlemen.
I'll tell you what, I think we need to look a little further in depth, and like in the work session, I don't believe we should use ESSER money to do this. So the option that I'm gonna put out here is, and y'all can vote it down if you want to. I think if we're gonna do a one-time bonus, let's place it on next year's budget, in the budget for next year, where we can go ahead and plan for it. And that way, we wouldn't have to go back and amend our budget for this year. I'd like to put, if we're gonna do a one-time bonus, that we put.
There was debate in there about holding off of the bonus in order to try to provide long-term pay raises as well.
I was waiting for somebody else to bring that up.
Well, nobody's going to, so I'm going to. Anybody want to discuss that, Mr. Glover?
Well, you know, when this was first brought up, when I first brought it up, that was, you know, we talked about the 3% raises, and I asked, can we do any more than 3? Well, you know, I'm new here, I'm still learning, but I feel as
we're
if
all
we need
learning
to
every
get
month.
a long-term raise to these people. They work hard, some of them, I mean, they go above and beyond. Then you brought it back up about the bonus. You know, I'm all for it. We need to give them something, some sort of appreciation for the hard work that they've went forth through, especially through this COVID. Some of them were working day and night, you know, watching video. You know, we don't appreciate those people. Principals sitting in their office till 7, 8 o'clock at night watching video to see who was sitting around each other. You know, so my opinion is I think we need to go to county commission and see about getting these people a raise.
So let me understand, you're talking about holding up where we're at right now until January when budgetary hearings come and go in front of the county commission and.
I think
approach
that
them
would
about
be the
rate.
smartest part. Let's hold up on the bonus and let's get these people a full raise yearly, every year
Will you
raise.
make that in form of a motion?
I'll make that informed motion that we,
I'm sorry,
I'll rescind my motion.
that's gone, thank you. Who seconded it?
I don't know if anybody ever seconded it. I just throwed it out there.
Mr. McCaleb did, I think.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah, Mr. McCaleb did. All right, so that's been rescinded, so you're going,
But I didn't rescind my second.
would you like to?
Can we discuss this next meeting?
Well, next meeting's gonna be 5 mile long if we keep putting
What
on.
he's basically saying, Marty, is he wants to hold this and let's look at giving them a raise, not giving them a bonus.
that way they get it yearly rather than one time.
Rather than one
Is it
time.
gonna be the same time frame?
Yes, both of us are still talking the same time frame.
Correct.
I was talking
That's- I'm saying-
23,
I'm thinking
he was
the
talking.
bonus is quicker than the raise. Is it?
Not the motion that I made, it was in 2023. It's next year's budget.
The motion he made was next year's budget.
Does that mean?
That's one you seconded.
They could get money just as quick through his.
Yeah, because your second was to his and his was for next year's budget. So either way, you're looking at next year's budget.
Both of us looking at next year.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Mr. Glover, repeat it.
I'd like to make a motion that we go before the county commission and ask for help giving our teachers a raise for the next year's budget.
When the appropriate
Appropriate time.
budgetary hearings are going on.
Correct.
So you've heard his motion. Do I have a second?
Everybody, not just teachers,
Every
everybody,
employee,
all staff.
all staff.
I second.
So Mr. McCaleb has seconded that.
And we have not been before the county commission for 15 years or more to ask for any money.
Nope. I
We've
believe
worked on our
my,
budget, and I feel as if it's time to do so.
I believe my uncle was the last individual to do that. And that has been 15 at least years.
And I will promise you and promise the teachers and the people that I will be there at the county commission to stand up for them.
I think that they deserve our due diligence in just that, no matter where it falls. All right, there's a motion and a second. Let's move forward. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, folks. New business D, COVID-19 leave. This was in your work session as well, Mr. Manning.
We was gonna try to table this motion, till next month, where he can give us a,
If you give me permission, I will try to, not that you can tweak it as you see needed, but we can come up with an outline of basically helping the people that we've done, even looking back to the people that didn't have any sick days,
Correct.
to people that had 100, and then from this point forward, setting a policy. I'll give you some different options, and we can choose out of that and go from there.
I don't have any disagreement with that. Do any of y'all?
None.
Everybody good? Thank you, sir.
Who seconded it?
I'll second.
we need to vote on it, to table it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Discussion on the COVID update. All of y'all have had a chance to look at that.
Their numbers are excellent, tickled to death at where we're at right now. But we still know it's serious, we still know, we look around and see the people that's struggling with it. I think there's a lot goes into that, I think we've got better, chemicals, sanitation, social distancing. A lot, our teachers again, and our parents have done a good job. We do as much as we can. Obviously you can't put 35 students in a classroom and get 6 foot apart, but I do think that we're doing a much better job coming in behind them and cleaning. So if you saw the numbers, we were thrilled today. We had 8 total cases. We hadn't had that in, I don't know when, 7 students and 1 employee, and only had 25 exposures. So that's pretty unreal for the school system. The county's probably about double where we were still out last year. I think we're at 104 last night. I don't know what, I haven't seen the dates yet. But that's still pretty high numbers for the county size, but the school itself, I'm thrilled where we're at. I just thought we would have been here.
Well, I'll say this, our staff members are educators in the school systems. I mean, we have mechanics and whatnot, but in the classrooms and things, they're educators by trade. However, well, they've taken on a lot with this COVID-19 and managed through it very well and taking care of our children and things. So that's just one more reason for us to speak with the county commission about this. They've worked mighty hard. They've worn multiple hats.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? All right, Mr. Winkler, is there a need for an executive session?
No, sir.
All right, I would like to say one thing before I entertain a motion to adjourn, because we've talked a lot tonight. For my part, gentlemen, and while some of this is kind of drug on, for me personally, I just want to express my appreciation for all of you and the back and forth and the questions and things that you asked about all the things that we've addressed tonight. These are important. It's confusing to me too. But it's a passion that every one of you have, and it comes from honesty and integrity and wanting to do what you think is right for the people in our school system and our children. And I just personally feel the need to say that to you. I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed, Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith's good. All right. Thank y'all.
It's
Kobe, how you
freezing.
doing? I reckon so. It's nice to see you.